A strange stillness fills you as you look ahead. You should walk here, not run. This grotesque wooden figure looks half-finished. This figure was added later. It's not part of the original church. Feels like it's trying to become one with the church. More of the forked lightning pattern you saw outside. Bark beetles? No, it looks intentional. Some long-forgotten style. The blackboard is filled with complex equations. They look recent. Two decks of reel-to-reel tapes spinning on empty. A portable Harman Wowshe tape recorder. It is possible it's recording something? Someone's siphoning electrical current from outside into this antenna.
In white, silver, and apricot faience, the young mother of humanism stands above you. A crack runs across her body. She is impossibly tall, oval-faced and sad, a dark and radiant majesty. This is her innocence, Dolores Day. Cradled in her arms are a pair of glowing lungs, clearly visible from underneath her flowing dress. You should kneel.
Kneel.
Your knees touch the floor. The floorboards are hard and cold. There you kneel among the snowdrifts, diffuse light falling on your hands from beyond the glass.
Close your eyes first.
The world is silent, but for the creaks and cracks of the massive wooden structure behind you. It covers you from the wind outside. The ocean feels distant, its ebb and flow blocked off by the centuries-old pinewood sarcophagus around you. In the darkness, you sense her eyes on you, inspecting you with their multicolored glass, as if you're a bug under a microscope.
Open your eyes.
The woman looks down at you kneeling. She towers among her followers, architects, laymen, courtiers. There is a sad smile on her lips and a glint in her green-blue eye of what? Compassion? Remorse? She acknowledges the passing of someone who is still alive. You.
It's compassion.
As that soft word passes through your mind, the lieutenant draws an X-shaped cross from shoulder to shoulder.
Do the same as you get up.
Your fingertips touch your chest 4 times. Then you rise from your knees into the apricot-colored light of the window. Above you, the woman still smiles her distant smile, sundered by the crack in the glass. The mother of humanism stands above you, a precious and complex wax painting on a single pane of glass. A crack runs across the length of her body, her face oval and sad.
Visual calculus, formidable. Reconstruct the cracked glass.
A jigsaw of broken shards falls into place in front of you, a ghostly reconstruction of the stained glass window. Before it was shattered, there was an older woman beneath the younger one, and a text, a light motif below them both.
What shattered this mosaic?
Unknown.
Who is this older woman?
The escutcheon on her throne says, Irene the Navigator. She is depicted as an older woman wearing thick-rimmed eyeglasses, holding a golden rights apfel in one hand and a scepter in the other. This is the queen her innocence day advised. Above, she herself is whole. Small figures of wise men, common men, worshippers walk up the stairs to stand at her feet. Secret servicemen, farriers, stand in a row guarding her. It must have taken years to produce this work in all its dizzying detail.
The motto, what does it say?
Below both women, in luminous black letters, Après la vie, mort. Après la mort, la vie de nouveau. And then along the left side, Après le monde, la gré. Après le gré, le monde de nouveau. After life, death. After death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again. This is the great leitmotif of humanism, a summary of the effect of the discovery of this isola, the Insulindian, on human thinking, a tremendous sea change akin to finding life after death.
Lieutenant, this used to say afterlife, death, after.
Death, life again. After the world, the pale. After the pale, the world again. This exaltation is common in Dolorian sacralism. In the early years, it was even incorporated as the RCM slogan. No more, however.
Why?
It was deemed subservient to use a strongly moral intern-related motto. We already suspected of bootlicking. The sentence was also seen as too feminine. It was a macho thing.
What's the RCM motto now?
Justice, union, prudence, and force.
I like the other one better.
So do I.
The mother of humanism towers above you, a wax painting on a cracked pane of glass. Nothing has changed in her expression. The mother of humanism stands above you, a precious and complex, despite the damage you've done to yourself. The title appears lodged in your hippocampus. This is her innocence, Dolores Day, the innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. Perhaps the most famous human being ever to have lived.
That was an encyclopedia check for how do I know this innocence.
No amount of Commodore Red can wipe her sad smile from your brain thing. It has survived the deluge and haunts you still, and will haunt you forever as it haunts all men.
What exactly is an innocence?
The highest category of historic individual, an embodiment of the world's spirit.
A tyrant.
In a way, an innocence is elected to office by the founding party, a precedent that has taken place a mere 6 times in the entirety of history. The legal system of the Real Belt is built from the ground up to accommodate an authentic rule should it coincide with our time. An innocence is infallible. The decisions made by one are not decisions. They are inevitabilities. What would have happened anyway? Only accelerated, packed into decades instead of centuries. An innocence is a continuous, compressed event, a sacred human being. It is an honor and a glory to live when one is in office. No, we are alone.
Okay. When did she live?
300 years ago, in the wake of the discovery of this Isola, the Insulindian, by explorers from the continent of Muindi. She is, among other things, the innocence of inter-isolary travel and the connected world.
I didn't realize I accidentally asked, is one in office now? And that's what No, We Are Alone is in response to. What else do I know about her?
Many things. You know she was a woman of the court, the wife of an influential Marchese, and eventually the principal advisor to Irene la Navigateur, Queen of Seren, modern-day Sir La Clé, also that she was gorgeous beyond beauty, draped in ancient sadness. Are you sure you want to remember this bit of historic trivia? Standing under a long, slender form like this, dwarfed?
Yes! Big bummer! Boring history! Gonna keep it light, man! Keep it moving! Get fucked up instead!
Where's this coming from?
The past. It's a silo of sadness, fermenting. You should keep away.
Fuck this pain, Bratan! It's unhealthy!
No, you must know.
Okay, what else? Was she smart?
Terribly, women of the court were expected to play both contract bridge and chess sufficiently well to prove an interesting challenge to a man. A simple grasp in matters of philosophy, theology, and science was encouraged. She was, by all means, a kept woman. She made the most of her position in the ante-Dolorian court, a court visited by the most prominent thinkers and artists of the day. In secret, she was becoming the era's preeminent philosopher of the state, a scalpel, a piercing gaze. She was an almost preternaturally magnetic and intelligent individual. To her contemporaries, she appeared out of time, a messenger from the future of the species. We all fell in love with her, head over heels. Even before she was declared an innocence, her influence was tremendous.
How come?
It was on her advice that Irene la Navigateur sponsored a number of voyages into the Pale. A costly, often tragic endeavor, ultimately vindicated by the discovery of the new world, the piece of reality you're standing on. She was crowned 2 years after the first expedition returned, setting in motion what is widely considered the greatest era in history, the Dolorian era.
Wow.
Wow indeed. When her innocence was declared, and the queen she had advised for years fell on her knees before her, she was so overcome with emotion that her lungs started glowing in her chest. Bystanders reported golden filaments lighting the already sunlit chamber around her, clearly visible beneath her dress. That is why the lungs are the symbol of love for the cultures of the Real Belt.
I want more.
As did we all. The lands of the Mesk and the Occident, and even far away Supremwindi, altogether 21 of the 40 mundial nations of the time, immediately accepted Innocentic rule, even before her crowning.
Her crowning?
In a city called Advesperaskit in Vesper Messina, her homeland, the name of the city means evening comes, but it happened on a winter's morning, with the canals frozen and slush falling out of the sky. She was dressed in a white and pearl dress on an emptied-out plaza with the crowd far away. Already, her Theriers, the secret servicemen of the Innocents, were worried about an assassination attempt.
She must have been beautiful.
Oh yes, she looked like humanity's young mother, a perfect mother, insultingly beautiful. It was as if her face and shoulders and hands were covered in a soft down of underfeathers. You know this well, very well. Midwinter snow was beating the cobblestones around her. A small attaché of officials stood by as her Theriers placed a white gold wreath on her head. The crowning was mostly witnessed by secret servicemen.
Then what?
One of the men in this secret service killed her 22 years later. A young man who had come to suspect that Dolores Day was not entirely human, but something else.
What?
Something that had walked in our midst, watching us stumble for hundreds, if not thousands of years, until it decided to interfere in the course of our history. We were supposed to come up with this ourselves, the man was reported to have screamed at the Innocents. Dolores Day was shot in the chest with a fowling piece 8 times. The man, thought to be insane, said he once touched her and her body had been unnaturally warm, like a furnace, and that sometimes, while on duty, he observed her forgetting to breathe for over 10 minutes. This inhuman quality was witnessed by many others as well, glowing lungs and all. It is commonly attributed to mass hysteria and religious psychology.
Was there something terrifying about her?
Terrifying is a term too emotionally charged for your semantic memory, or what remains of it. But terrifying, it's a simple word. She was bad for humanity, and you shouldn't have started thinking about her.
No, was there something bad about her? I want to know.
You already do. Although she is often considered to be the greatest human being to ever live, there was something ominous about Dolores Day, constantly surrounded by her terriers. She was the most socially secluded and least self-aware of all the innocences. Some modern thinkers would consider her a war criminal for the campaigns she waged against the Mesk state. And then there were the resettlement programs.
What happened?
The Mesk state tried to detach itself from Innocentic rule. Parts of the world were experiencing whiplash from accelerating into secularism. Her mandatory education programs and mass resettlement of upstream Marguerite were problematic as well. Dissenters were suppressed by a military force she called the Army of Humanity, suggesting those who fight against it are not part of humanity. She adored chess, yes, but also military war games. Dolores Day often holds a tiny tin soldier between her index finger and thumb in icons such as this. She was also blonde, the blondest woman you have ever seen, with green eyes the color of the Pacific, mare interregnum. Little is known of her Marchese husband. It's as if he vanished from history after completing his role, which was to introduce Dolores Day to court. In conclusion, yes, there is something lonely, paranoid, and even terrifying that people seldom mention, but feel when they think of her. This subtle terror is part of her iconography.
Lieutenant Yefrater, you've stood there for over 5 minutes.
The lieutenant's calm voice echoes in the cold air of the church.
What are you thinking of, if I may ask?
She's not human.
Okay.
He takes his glasses off to clean them. Then, after a while, he says,
This church, the coast in general, we shouldn't linger here. This isn't a good place to get lost in. We should conclude our business and move on.
but this is Dolores Day.
The old woman in the village was right. This must be the Dolorian Church of Humanity in Martinez, or the small Pinewood Church in some records.
You knew of the place.
It's a minor landmark, not easy to find. Most maps misplace it. It was built not long after Ravachol's founding, 300 or so years ago, by first-generation settlers.
On the coast of an uninhabited archipelago where only animals had roamed before, in the wild reeds.
What else do you know?
There used to be 7 stave churches on the coast. Les Setsa, they call them, the 7 Sisters. Only one remains. The rest were burnt in the revolution or used for building materials. We should be respectful here, although the building appears to be deserted. I do not believe we'll find the instigator here. Something else, perhaps?
He looks at the machinery lying around.
Respectful? Is the lieutenant a follower of Dolorianism? A pang of guilt? The lieutenant is leaving something out.
Do you know why it was abandoned?
I have a theory, yes. There was a police raid a while back. I heard the place was shot to pieces. The old woman in the village was being tactful with us when she didn't mention it. She has more respect for the RCM than many around here.
Who conducted this raid?
Well, your station was involved, I hear, although I can't be sure.
How come the lieutenant isn't sure? Is this confidential information?
You're not sure.
3 precincts were involved in the raid, and people say Precinct 41 was one of them.
I guess I I could have been here.
I'm sorry, I'm not saying you were. It was a clandestine operation. I don't know anything about it, why it was conducted or who participated. I try not to pry into extra-district matters.
If I was here, I should try to figure out what I was doing.
Good luck. You will not get information on a confidential operation from your station secretary just by calling. If you really don't remember, it might be better to keep this one forgotten. It happened a while ago. It's unimportant to our business in Martinez now.
Kim, are you a follower of Dolorianism?
Yes, we all are. Her name, body, and rule are synonymous with humanism. The laws we enforce are Dolorian in origin.
The woman looks by in silence, smiling enigmatically.
I don't like her. She looks like a lever.
I have no idea what you mean by that. We've been standing here long enough. We should look around, or get out.
Hey, thought completed.
Bringing of the law jaw. Okay, so we now know why you have law jaw, why you say the law in a weird manner, and why your jaw does that thing. You had polio as a child. You hadn't gotten vaccinated. It must have been right after the revolution. Not a lot of vaccine going around then. So you got infantile paralysis due to polio, and this jaw thing is a complication from that. Admittedly, it's not very funny, but you overcame it. This little infant survived and became a sharp-shooting super cop. So, fuck you, polio.
Learning cap for hand-eye coordination raised to 6. Succeed all hand-eye coordination passives, but -1 rhetoric. Jaw still weird. Very cool.
A machine stands in the corner, watched over by the figures on the stained glass window. It's turned on and quivering with soft electricity.
Another radio computer. And this time it's already turned on.
He seems cautious around the machine.
These machines sometimes harbor traps, he thinks. Alarm systems and the like. Let's be careful.
We should leave. I doubt this place bears any connection to the case.
Yes, but this machine looks just like the one in the doomed commercial area.
It's also quite similar to the one we have down at the station. Must be the same model.
He inspects the machine's framework, careful not to touch anything.
A quaint little box of radio waves.
Wait, let me just investigate it.
You see fluorescent play and print buttons on the keyboard. A hatch connected to the central compartment is wide open. The lieutenant says nothing. You see the machine's glowing frame reflected back from his diamond-shaped glasses. You're free to proceed.
Look inside the compartment.
Behind the hatch sits a cube-like crisscross of filaments, smoldering in the dark like fireflies. Silver tape on the side says, in black marker, log, February to March. Another filament memory. Press play to talk with the repeater.
Press play.
The speaker comes to life. Static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. An old lady greets you. Her voice sounds 100 years old.
Good evening. Votre accident on Saint-Brun. This is the East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
It's the same old woman you spoke with through the radio computer in the doomed commercial area.
Yvonne, it's me again. How are you?
Good, thank you. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
It's not clear whether she recognizes your voice. I looked inside the core, but the tape on the filament just says log, February through March.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Let's look around. There's no use trying to guess the answer.
A password? I'm really bad at passwords. Can you give me a hint?
No.
A hint system is not part of the protocol for repeater stations.
Is it my birthday?
Still no.
This is the police. Please open this thing.
I am contractually obliged to protect the privacy of the filament holder for stress accident. Without filing a warrant with Lintel, I cannot give you access to this filament.
I'm afraid we are not doing that. Unless we want to wait for a month.
Now, can you please repeat the password?
I don't know the password.
Received. I will register this login attempt. Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
Fortress accident, like the one in the doomed commercial area?
I have 2 machines registered to this company name in Martinez. One on Saint-Brun, the other on Rue de Saint-Ghislaine.
Saint-Brun, that's the church. And Rue de Saint-Ghislaine? That's the doomed commercial area.
Anything else I can help you with?
Thanks, but I'm finished.
Sleep well, Fortress accident.
Her voice disappears into a whirl of static.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated, revealing fluorescent play and print buttons.
Press print.
Nothing happens.
Mesk Banger's Red Brogues. Didn't the girl outside say that the crabman was Mesk?
Her Innocence Dolores Day liked little figurines, right? Liked holding little men between her fingers, remember?
What?
You have the headless Fallen Rider figurine. You should give it to her. Win her back.
I should, yes. This is a task of mine now.
So very, very, very nifty. Nifty and mysterious. This is surely what the figurines are for. The mother of humanism stands above you. A precious and complex
It looks
wax
like I can't
painting.
give this
Why?
figurine to her. Because she's a stained glass window?
That does seem to be a problem. Maybe you meant something else?
Like what else? Is the task still on?
I don't know. What are we thinking of? Part of your mind has gone on to other things already. Only a strange little sadness remains. The mother of humanism.
The bowl is filled with water. A live wire runs directly into it. A spider has spun its web around this wood-carved pillar. A cracked pane of glass, colorful. It came from the stained glass window. Still has letters on it, too. Frost has drawn flowers on the glass, obscuring the view. A figure drawn in frost on the window, depicting a deer. Mesk Banger's silk scarf. Interesting.
The silence in this part of the church, it's almost palpable. All the shifting matter and shuffling of living things is gone. Nothing seems to exist beyond the church anymore. Maybe if you were to stand in just the right spot, even your footsteps would be completely silent.
Wait, I think I can still hear something.
And then it's gone. Almost all of it, but for the faintest of hums. It seems the sound here is detached from its source somehow, if not blotted out outright. Truly unusual. Sounds like the Pale.
How do I know what the Pale sounds like?
From recordings of the Far Pale. You've heard them. We all have. You can hardly hear your own breathing.
Yell as loud as you can.
Your voice is barely audible. Not a howl, but the softest of whimpers.
You stomp your feet, clap your hands.
You produce a few muffled thumps, after which the silence feels even more total, somehow.
Kim, what's happening?
The lieutenant points to his ears and shakes his head. Then he leans closer.
Can you hear anything?
Almost nothing, and it's beginning to worry me.
The church just has strange acoustics, some engineering trick.
His detached tone conceals how uncomfortable he is. Maybe the church was designed this way to prevent boisterous activity, singing and dancing on its premises.
Hey, what if it's something paranatural?
Please, detective, not this again.
Look up into the bell tower.
The orderly rows of ceiling panels become barely visible, then disappear completely in the darkness of the tower overhead.
Perception. Try to see beyond the shadows.
It's like there's something moving up there. A shadow has emerged from the tower and it's making its way toward you through all the other shadows.
On the ceiling.
Yes, the darkness makes the ceiling feel infinitely far away.
Follow the shadow's movements.
It's not a shadow anymore, becoming more substantial as it gets closer. The shape of an animal descends.
Officer, is there something up there?
The lieutenant follows your gaze, attempting to see whatever it is that you are seeing.
Oh no, you've lost sight of it. Where did it go?
Blink.
You see something hanging from the rafters, looking straight at you with dark eyes. Maybe it's possible to talk to it. The shadow is a man made of the same stuff as the carpentry of the building. He is studying you intently.
Hey, who's there?
The man leaned forward a little, fixing you with a steady, unreadable gaze, then speaks.
Habitual alcohol use has made you into a scared little pussy, Holmes. But don't worry, everything's gonna be all right. You come to the right place.
That accent is Villalobos, a peninsula in Mesk and a district in Jamrock. There's a sizable contingent of Villalobos-speaking Mesks in Revachol.
The right place for what?
Here you can receive the mother's love. And when you're ready, she will take your hand and lift you out of the despair at the bottom of that bottle.
This man is obviously a habitual narcotics user. Do we really need to question him?
I'm put off by this religious stuff, he thinks. And maybe the ceiling climbing, too. It's all very hard to square with the lieutenant's own view of reality. Hey, and what was that about the bottle again? You haven't even drank that much lately. Lay off it already. Shish.
I'm a policeman. I need to talk to you about police things. I don't know anything about alcohol use.
Oh yeah, sure. You don't know anything about alcohol use. You got it all under control, Way. I could smell the control all the way over here.
You don't know me. You don't know what it's like. There's something white pursuing me. White and very sad.
I was like you once, just dragging my feet to the next bottle. Shit was dark, Holmes.
You know, actually, since we're here, you may want to pay attention to what the ceiling climber is saying.
If the lieutenant agrees, then maybe, just maybe, you should pay attention.
Fuck you, crabman! You don't tell us what to do! Tell him!
Who do you think you are? Some crazy guy under the roof? What is this shit?
It doesn't matter who I am, Way. I'm just bringing you the message of the mother's love. She don't want you to hang yourself on your own stubbornness.
His words echo in the cold air of the church.
This is the Church of the Mother of Silence. You are welcome here.
He sways gently on the beams, waiting for you to take it all in.
You have no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Is he just trying to throw you off your game? 'Tis not an act, my liege. Save him perchance he hath deceived his very self. This man is a zealot.
You must be the crab man.
Never known myself to be a crab, but if that's the name you got for me, I won't stop you from using it.
Sorry, you just weren't moving like a human.
I always thought of myself more like a flame, flickering along the rafters and beams. It may be that I gotta work on my technique.
That's not the only technique he's working on. Look at those carved sculptures. And is that a satchel of tools over there?
Wait, did you also carve all those sculptures?
Sure am. Whittling wood used to be something I just did to busy my hands. Now I use those same hands in service of something greater than my own restlessness.
All right, let's consider the context and meaning here.
Squint your eyes. These seem a tad derivative.
It's all just for the mother, man. No need to overthink it.
What were you before you became a crabman and a woodcarver?
I was in a gangway, but my memories of that time are fading. Most of them are already gone.
I lost my memory too, and it haunts me.
No, man. You gotta let that shit go. Then the mother's light touch will fill you with rapture.
Do you remember your name, sir?
Tiago's my name, but those syllables don't mean much to me these days. A name isn't just your identity, but also, so to speak, your place amongst your fellows, your place in the world. I ain't got no use for such a place anymore.
My name's Harry.
That's just the thing, Holmes. None of that matters.
He ignores your hand, his limbs a mere shadow below the ceiling. What are you doing here?
This is a special place. There's a perforation in the world up there, a way out into nothingness. This church was built around it, for purposes of veneration. I circled it, nurtured by the silence bestowed by the mother. One of these days, I'll be pure enough to go drink from it directly.
What'll happen when you drink from this perforation?
I will be incinerated, but not destroyed. Finally, I won with the state of the world before reality began.
That sounds a bit like substitution behavior, no? You know a thing or two about that.
The Mother of Silence, you mean her, Dolores Day?
No. There's a new god in town, and she can't be painted or sculpted because she has no limb or even a face. She is the end. She is a cavity in the dark beyond sense. She saved me, but I couldn't describe her to you. No one can, Holmes, and no one ever will.
Are you sure you didn't just switch from one drug to another?
It's not like that at all, man. It's just faith and joyful service.
Too gleeful, those words. He is lying. Not to you, to his very own self.
Faith is a kind of drug.
I heard that before, Way, and I know I can't convince you on the spot. But think, when's the last time you woke up from silent communion with a hangover, regretting what you did last night?
There are drugs darker than alcohol circling your system.
Hey, not judging. I've got drug problems myself.
I can see, and it saddens me. But devotion can save you. It saved me.
I think love might have been my drug of choice, and I think I'm still hungover from it.
She took you for a good spin, huh? Don't worry, bro. That love is but a drop compared to the ocean of the mother's love. The mother will eat all of you and never spit you out.
I guess you have a point.
I know it will take time. Don't sweat it.
I still don't
I
understand what
know
you're
it will
doing
take time.
in the church.
I'm a seraph, Holmes. I sing the mother's glory.
You should sing for me, the superstar cop.
I ain't from no Marietti, if that's what you're thinking. And the song I sing is silent as the mother.
Marietti is a mesque style of music and dance, commonly seen at all manner of festivities, especially weddings. It's delightfully quaint, owing to its peasant origins.
How did you even find this place, this church?
Hard to say. I think I did some construction work here, back when I still had material worries. Up there, I realized what the true purpose of the church was. Been spending a lot of time here ever since. The past is nothing to me now, eh? It didn't belong to me.
Are these yours? The scarf and the shoes lying around?
I think they were. A long time ago. I had to shed them like skins to get closer to the center of the silence. You could have them. I don't need them anymore.
Right. I had other questions.
The sinewy figure lingers on the wooden beams, blending into the shadows.
You've been here for a long time. Did you see the police raid that took place here?
Something like that.
He responds, his voice suddenly flat.
Did you witness it?
Not really. Or at least I don't remember much of it anymore. The mother's love has done its job. That's what's so great about the mother. It lets you forget about everything.
It looks like he truly doesn't remember. There's a vagueness to his sense of time.
Some ravers want to turn this place into a nightclub.
The ones in the tent outside, right? I see them. Guessing they're the ones who call me a crab. Probably scared of me.
So what do you think about the nightclub, that is?
Why not? They wouldn't bother me none. I'm usually way up there, imbibing. Ain't no music on earth that can reach where I go. Might even be nice to have some company.
He said that in spite of himself. He's more attached to the human than he'd like to think.
Do you know who the other spooker is? Pointing to the strange machines.
Other spooker? Oh, esa viejita es muy estudiosa. Don't know, Holmes.
Viejita is grandma?
Wait, so there is another person living in the church, and it's Viejita?
No. I just call her viejita because of her clothes. She's actually quite young. Or maybe not that young. Age is just one of the many masks we wear.
Wait, what if it's Ruby?
Did it ever seem to you like she was hiding here from something?
Lieutenant seems to be thinking the same. He takes out his little notebook.
You mean like a fugitive?
He glances at the abandoned radio computer on the other side of the nave, pulsing with light. Then he shakes his head.
No, man. Quite the opposite. I don't think she cared much about authority or anything else for that matter. Maybe only about her machines.
I see. And where is she now?
I told you, Holmes. I don't know.
Right, thanks. I'll see if I can find her some other way.
You just have to wait until she comes back, or...
Have you by any chance heard the Belleda say the password to her radio computer?
Too many times, Essay. You need it for something.
Surveys are a good way to fish for personal information, especially in the name of public safety.
I'm doing a survey of passwords and passcodes, identifying regional trends. It's in the interest of public safety, of course.
Don't sweat it, vato. The password is afterlife death.
That is true. But what comes after death?
What you think of that? Makes me almost pity La Nilita Pequeña when I hear it.
Okay then, thanks.
I think we're done here, Essay.
The figure crawls off into the darkness above.
That was an interesting conversation. However, I'm still not sure whether we'll find our suspect here.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated, revealing fluorescent play and print buttons.
Press play again.
The speaker comes to life. Static seeps through the machine's play.
Good evening. Votre accident en Saint-Brun. This is the East Insulindian Repeat Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
Let's try this again. I think I may have the right password for the personal log.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Afterlife, death.
Good. I have unlocked the filament. After ending the call, please press print to access the filament. Votre accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
Thanks, but I'm finished.
Sleep well, votre accident.
The machine's keyboard, the printer prints out a long text document with dated paragraphs. It looks a bit like someone's journal.
Read the printout.
The first entry, made on the 4th of February, 51, by an unknown author, is short and concise. Arrived at the church. The door was boarded up, so I used the crowbar to get inside. Looks like the place has been deserted. Nothing out of the ordinary, but I'll ask around. Need to figure out how to get the electricity in. The lieutenant leans closer, scouring the printout over your shoulder. Just as you finish reading, he looks up, muttering under his breath.
4th of February. That's over a month ago. Whoever set up those machines has been here for quite a while.
Do you think this log might be connected to the case?
Our case? No, I don't think so. It must be some local eccentric.
Read the second entry.
6th of February, 51. Had a little chat with the local fishermen. Said I shouldn't go near that place, that the church was spooky and ridden with narcotics. It's a little spooky, all right. Still haven't figured out the electricity.
Third entry.
7th of February, 51. Finally got the electricity in. Next on the agenda, a new antenna. I'm thinking ESCA series, something advanced.
Why would she need an antenna?
Why would anyone need any of this equipment here?
He steps on a wire rolling on the ground, inspecting it with his boot. Fourth entry.
8th of February, 51. Bought the antenna, had some problems setting it up. Called Simon for help. Heard the others are back to making art. Drinking somewhere out of town. Sulislav started a rock band again. Lexi has been seen asking money from strangers. But at least the artists have their act together. They're qualified labor. They can get work anywhere. Graphic design, ads. The programmers are doing fine too. I mean, they're programmers. The writers, though, they're fucked. I just have to find out what caused that data loss and be done with it. Still don't understand how it managed to wipe out the backup, when the backup wasn't even connected to the front. I know. Everyone thinks it's impossible. They say I must be lying. I'm here to set it right.
A data loss.
Seems like something to do with radio computers. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about them to understand what the author is saying. Something about the backup data getting destroyed, and how everyone thought it was the author's fault. Let's just keep reading.
Artists, programmers, Lexi. Who are all these people?
I think these people worked in the radio computer games business. The one we saw in the Doom commercial area. They must be our former co-workers.
Fifth entry.
12th of February, 51. Brought some food from the grocery store. Apparently, there's a strike going on in the harbor. Definitely not happy to see the Martinez people again. Everything's now set up in the church. Going to start working tomorrow, 8 a.m.
The strike. We are nearing the date of the murder. Keep reading. I'm interested now. I want to know what's that radio anomaly that sent this person here in the first place.
6th entry.
25th of February, 51. I've been sending data up to Lintel for a while now, trying to recreate the data loss, but nothing. Didn't even feel like logging in, the disappointment. But I did discover a curious audio-spatial anomaly at the back of the church. I've named it the Swallow. It swallows sound. Need to get some mics.
Is she talking about?
The lieutenant looks to his right, towards the silence. 7th entry.
28th of February, 51. Yes, the first recordings confirm that the Swallow is real and I'm not just losing my mind. It's a pillar of silence with a diameter of approximately 3 meters. Seems like the higher I go, the less I record. This might be a coincidence, or it could be connected to the data loss that led me here.
The pillar of silence. She is talking about the silence. Is she suggesting it's more than just an architectural quirk?
But what could it be?
The lieutenant doesn't answer. He follows your gaze, studying the basins. The water shines in them. No ripples.
8th entry.
March 51. Some kind of young disco men have appeared next to the church. I've been trying to record the silence to find the epicenter, but now it turns out I've also been capturing the future of dance music, one neo-disco song over and over again. Fortunately, the song is so monotonous, I was able to devise an algorithm to factor it out. The other day, one of the disco men came in. Before I could even say hello, she got scared and left. Good, I don't want anyone distracting me from my work.
She must be describing a cell.
The girl on the ice? Sounds like her, yes.
9th entry.
March 51. I got a call from the repeater station. Someone has tried to access the radio computer in our old office in Martinez. Can't do anything about it. The storekeeper still doesn't want to let me inside the building. Thinks I'm part of some kind of curse. How Martinez of her.
That's me. I was the one who broke into that radio computer, and the storekeeper must have been Plaisance.
I knew it wasn't a good idea to meddle with that machine.
10th entry.
March 51. A new 2-meter aux cable. Noodles. Crackers. Ping energy drinks. Water. Toothpaste. Gum. Also some canned air. Your reading is interrupted by the sound of the church door opening. A strange woman makes straight for the radio computer.
Breaking into my radio computer, I see.
She glares at you as she holds down the off button for several seconds. The machine reboots.
I do apologize for the intrusion, madame. We are with the RCM, you see.
We're here on a side case representing certain music venue organizers.
Well, you won't find any music venue organizers here.
She barely looks up at you from the keyboard. You hear the machine whir back to life.
It's just me and my computer, and it has been this way for weeks. Now please give me some room. I need 2 seconds to see that you haven't destroyed anything.
We should talk to her after she has rebooted the machine.
What is it?
The woman is still hunched over the keyboard, gently illuminated by the purring machine. Hey, are you the lead programmer of We're All Untethered by any chance?
Yes. Or no. Not anymore. That project is dead.
She doesn't seem surprised to be recognized. Rather sad. Something passes over her face before she straightens her back.
I didn't break anything, did I?
No, you just printed out my personal log and wasted some paper.
It does not look like a big loss to her. Sorry, but who are you and what are you doing here?
I am Soona Luukkanen-Kilde, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident and RSA radios. I have over 16 years of programming experience, and I'm proficient in both Vox and Orbis languages. If you're not here to hire me, I don't really know how I can help you.
She turns back to the terminal.
Did she say over 16 years of experience? She must have started programming when she was still a teenager.
Have you seen the Crab Man?
Nope.
But you know he's around.
Yes.
He's seen you.
And?
And the Crab Man has seen you.
I don't care. I don't care about crabmen.
She barely looks up, now tinkering with the machine's printer. Have you seen anyone suspicious, say, a woman named Ruby?
What? No. No one's suspicious around here.
She has not seen her, sire. 'Tis true.
Why are there so many machines in this place?
I brought them here. These are my machines. Please don't touch anything.
Why do you need an antenna?
I use the AR-1 as my RAIN Prefect's processing unit.
I don't understand.
RAIN Prefect is my radio computer.
And the antenna is its processing unit?
Yes? You really don't know anything about radio computers, do you?
She has stopped working now. I don't really know much about anything in this world, to be honest.
Alright. Well, all radio computers perform operations up on air. So in order to gain more processing power, you need to invest in a good antenna.
Wait, what's on air?
On the front, the unified front of radio waves, licensed and controlled by Lintel in the East Insulindic region. It's all around us. That's what on air means.
Like love.
And the AR-1, it's a good antenna?
I guess it is. So far I've been quite satisfied with it. Martinez is an unstable region with bad coverage, and the operation has been surprisingly stable. But it's not the cheapest one on the market, so I wouldn't recommend it for your regular red tape operations. Fraser 1000 is a foolproof line for civilians. Anyway, you should do some research before you decide to buy anything. Ask around, compare the prices. There are many milieus dedicated to that sort of thing.
She liked telling me this. It calmed her nerves.
What are you doing with your radio computer?
I'm working.
The machine seems almost alien with its pulsing core. The light casting her face in a strange shadow.
Working on what?
Could you just shh for a moment? Or get to the point. I really need to focus on something.
It's not just rudeness. It really is hard to concentrate on whatever she needs to do. And you're not helping.
What about those bowls of water over there?
They are connected to my RAIN Prefect. Whatever you do, just please don't move them, okay? Thanks.
Short and terse. There you have it. Whatever she's using them for, they're hers.
Right, I'll try not to touch anything. Next question.
Great.
She dwells back into the glowing terminal. What are you doing in an abandoned church?
You really like those questions, don't you?
There's a hint of amusement in her tired eyes. I'm a police officer. It's my job to ask questions.
I'm conducting scientific research here. You can't throw me out.
She says, ready to stand her ground. What research?
I'm looking for the location of a 2mm hole in the world.
Wait, what? She's looking for a disruption in the radio waves. That's what her personal log said. The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything.
Is the hole connected to the data loss in your journal?
Yes, that's what led me here. But I suspect it might be something a bit more complicated than that.
She stares at the burnished antenna on a nearby table. A hole in the world. What does that mean exactly?
Exactly. What does it mean? Up to now, it has been impossible to say what it is because it's impossible to measure nothing.
There's something frantic about her as she locks her gaze with you, eyes shining like pearls.
What do you think it is? What qualities does nothing have? How do you measure something that does not exist?
She's suddenly absorbed in the conversation, waiting for your answer.
Easy. You measure it by the world around it.
You measure it by collecting data on its surroundings, on that which exists.
Exactly. Very true. That's what I've been aiming for. That's why I have those basins. I've tried using hydrotransducers to record the silence, to find out where it begins.
Hydrotransducers. So that's what those water basins are. Devices for recording sound through water.
But honestly, it's not progressing very well.
She grows silent, staring at her circle of basins. It looks like some ancient ritual.
But does it have anything to do with necroplasmic life forms? Ghosts? in everyday parlance.
Does it have anything to do with ghosts?
Ghosts? No, I don't think so. I don't believe in ghosts.
What about other supernatural entities?
I don't believe in them either.
What not many know is necroplasma exists.
Great. What are we talking about? And why?
She gets back to work, a clear signal that this branch of the conversation is over. Do you have any idea where this hole might be located?
Somewhere underneath those roof beams, I assume.
She looks up, eyes trying to pierce the pitch-black heights above, but without much success.
Only a faint crisscross of rafters can be made out from the dark, most of the tower disappearing into the shade. Strange things may flourish in the dark.
Why there?
There's this place at the back of the church, a place where all audible vibrations seem to decease. I've named it the Swallow, and the higher you go, the less you record.
The Pillar of Silence? Are you sure it's not just an architectural quirk?
Maybe, but it's oddly close to the physical coordinates of the data loss that led me to this place.
This is where the Crabman lives.
I know.
You don't think the Crabman might somehow be responsible here?
No, I don't.
She sounds mildly annoyed by this line of questioning, her hands typing hundreds of commands into the machine.
You said that your research isn't going well. Why not?
Because it's just trial and error, trying to locate the Swallow, the exact point in space. And I don't have a... You know what? It would be really helpful if you could just stop talking and let me work.
That's all I wanted to know about the scary 2 millimeter hole in the world for now.
Great. Thanks.
How do you feel about enotic dance music?
What? I hate it.
I bet she hasn't even heard it.
Have you even listened to it? Like, actually listened?
Yeah. Like all the time. My tent neighbors don't really ease up with their partying, do they?
She pulls a face that looks absolutely scathing.
Maybe I'd have to be on drugs to get it, but to a sober mind it just sounds like uninspired rug whipping. No idea what it has to do with either dancing or music.
Right, but how do you feel about a club for enotic dance music?
This is about those speed freaks in the tent, isn't it? I've got some news for you. It's not a nightclub they want to build here.
What do they want to build then?
Take a guess, why don't you?
A youth center would be nice.
I can't believe they got you so easily. Go have another talk with those up-and-coming entrepreneurs, will you? Thanks.
Good luck. I'm not coming in there.
Right, I'll let you work in peace. A school of fish huddle around the fence post and scatter in the dark. This is someone's home away from home, just like yours.
Hi again. So, how are things going?
About the church. I checked it out.
And? What happened?
I talked to the Crabman.
Oh man! Who is he? What did you think?
He gave me this odd lecture about alcoholism before rambling on and on about mother's love.
Really? Huh. Interesting. What's he doing in the church?
Just preaching and praying from the looks of it.
No matter. Is he gonna be a problem? Yeah. Noid is right. Let's get back to the point. What are we gonna do about him?
These guys will never catch him. You will never catch him. There's nothing to do.
Actually, he told me he wouldn't mind the nightclub at all.
I dunno, man. Doesn't it feel like a major hindrance to you? A spooky guy climbing around when all the guests are trying to have nice, friendly hyper time?
Don't worry, I don't think he really gives a damn about you or anyone else.
I guess it's not a massive problem, now that I think of it.
Everyone is welcome to dance till the morning light! Yeah!
Maybe. I guess we'll figure something out. Okay, but what about the other spooker? The one in Grandma's clothes? Did you see her?
I was using the mainframe when Suna, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident, appeared.
A programmer? That's odd. What was she like? Did you ask her about the nightclub?
She did not like the Anodic Dance Club idea.
What a pity! That's my favourite thing in the world! And she doesn't like it at all!
A shame. What can we do now? Do you see a way out of this jam? And into a laser-lit future of dance and unity?
Unity! Dance!
She made it really clear that she won't leave until her own project is finished.
And you can't just evict her?
No, I won't evict her. We have to come up with a different solution.
Look at you, Honour Man!
No, Noid. He's right. Maybe we've approached it the wrong way after all. I'm sure there's a workaround. We can make a deal not to bother her. If that's okay with her, we only want to get in the church and spread the joy and ecstasy of music.
The lines in the dark exist! Coexist!
At least Crabman seems like an advanced being. He's hard. He'll understand.
Yeah, he can do his climbing thing in the tower. And the programmer, does she like Anodic dance music?
She absolutely does not. Really, truly seems to despise it.
Egghead cannot believe what she just said. It makes him pump the jam a little slower for a moment, but then he returns to the full swing of it.
No worries. We'll figure it out. If coexisting fails, you can always muscle her out, right? If it's all okay with you, what do you think?
I refuse to throw her out, but I can try convincing her.
Excellent! Good luck, my friend. Goodbye, officer.
The large-headed youth
Good morning, comrade! Yeah!
Let's get our physical instrument on here.
the large-headed
Good morning, comrade! Yeah!
Maybe your body can tell you what Arno van Eyck's jam is missing to make it harder core.
No, that would be silly. Your body isn't for thinking. It's for robust, wholesome things.
Did someone say disco?
Well, too bad. Unless we find a way to raise the learning cap on physical instrument, that's all we can do. Or if we find a way to unlock all physical checks.
Yes, what is it?
What if you didn't have to leave? I talked to Andre. He wants to make it work.
I don't want to make anything work.
Hold on. You don't want to make anything work?
Yes, anything. I don't want to make anything work.
It's not the anodic dance music that's made her bitter. It's the failure of Fortress Accident.
Are you bitter because your radio game project failed?
That's right. If we couldn't get our Welkins to happen, I don't want anything to happen. Ever again.
There's not a trace of irony in her voice. She means it.
Yes, what is it?
Suggestion medium. Convince her to cooperate with the Ravers.
Easy. When her research is done, she can move out.
Listen, about your research. You mentioned earlier that it's not going very well. Maybe I can help with something?
What? No, I don't really need any help with the project.
But if I could help you finish the project, then you wouldn't have to live in a church next to a boombox anymore. Just think about it.
She thinks about it. A glassy look in her eyes. A gust of wind brings more snow in from the broken gallery. It touches her hair.
All right. Bring me the game's offsite copy from my old workspace, if you really want to help. It's stored on a filament memory, and I'm unable to go and fetch it myself.
Is this the filament you're looking for? Showing her the production schedule.
No, that's the production schedule you stole and accessed without authorization. I don't need it.
She's tapping the table in a badly concealed impatience.
In his defense, it was simply lying in the desk drawer of an abandoned cubicle.
Okay, but still.
What is an off-site copy, and why do you need it?
It's a backup of my former employer's project, the radio game we were working on. It's stored on a filament memory, just like the one inside this radio computer.
She points to the glowing cube inside the machine.
The backup itself is destroyed now, but I'm hoping to use what's left of it to pinpoint the exact location of the anomaly. You just have to go to my old workspace and get the filament.
Hold on. If it's called an off-site copy, then why is it still on-site?
If it's called an off-site copy, then why is it still on site?
Oh god, not this again. It is not on site. It is in the basement. Perfectly safe and not connected to the front at all.
Basement? Sounds like it's technically still on-site.
And no, taking it outside the building wouldn't have protected it from the data loss. There's nothing wrong with keeping the backup in the basement. What happened was a freak accident that has nothing to do with how the backup was stored. We clear?
She stares at you with pleading, furious eyes.
This is clearly a painful topic for her. She must have had to explain herself numerous times.
By your old workspace, do you mean the studio of Fortress Accident in the doomed commercial area?
Yeah, that's the one. You can get in through the bookshop. You just have to do some explaining to the bookstore lady.
And where exactly is the off-site copy?
There's this giant ice bear fridge in the building's cellar. It's there. Don't worry, you can't miss the bear. It's hideous.
But you've been to the fridge and it wasn't there. There was a note saying...
I found a note from the ice bear fridge. It said the off-site copy had been moved to a safer place.
Wait, a note from whom? Did it specify where they took the filament memory?
It said the off-site copy had been taken to a nearby ice cream maker. The note was signed by someone named Suzislaw.
Jawiza. Of course! Our project lead, Sulisław Jawiza. God, he was always so hell-bent on keeping the copy somewhere safe. And feature creep, and the Valley of the Heads. Like it would have made a difference. The off-site copy was perfectly safe when the data loss happened. That data loss was anomalous.
She crosses her arms defiantly.
And the heads... I won't even get into the heads. Millions of them. Go find that copy from that ice cream maker, will you? Thanks.
Valley of 1,000 Heads. You like the sound of that.
I found the ice cream maker, but couldn't get it open. It's completely frozen.
This is getting ridiculous. Can't you just defrost it? Or, I don't know. I don't know about the ice cream maker. Just figure something out.
There's a solution, but she doesn't want to hand it over to you yet. It's a thing. Something she holds dear.
By the way, we put a dead body in that fridge.
Wait, what? Whose dead body?
You know, we don't actually have to tell the entire world about the fridge.
The lieutenant says, looking at you.
Whose body is it?
She demands again, staring first at you, then back at the lieutenant. Don't worry, I put it there, temporarily. It's all part of an official police investigation.
You put it there? You put a dead body inside the ice bear fridge.
Just wanted to let you know.
Okay. Very cool. Thanks for keeping me in the loop.
We would appreciate it if you kept this knowledge to yourself, miss.
Who would I tell? My mother? I don't have anyone to tell. And if I did, I wouldn't. I don't care.
Why can't you just go and get the filament yourself?
The bookstore lady hates me. Says I'm part of the curse. Whatever that means.
Wait, are you part of the curse?
Of course not. Anyway, I don't have my keys anymore and she won't let me in.
Why does she think you're part of the curse?
Because she's from Martinez, and people from Martinez have never ever seen a radio computer. She thinks it emits elemental evil.
Don't be too harsh. That's only because of their socio-economic situation.
Yes, but she literally started praying for the higher powers when she first saw my Reim Civic. I'm not making this up.
The lieutenant coughs like he's amused.
Once I came in one morning, only to find that my terminal was full of those strange trinkets and amulets. Wards. It looked like some feminine magic. So what I need you to do here is go have a talk with her, say that you're a policeman and need to get to the building's basement. Then bring me the offsite copy. Alright?
Alright, I'll go look for the offsite copy.
Thanks.
She thinks for a moment, then reaches behind the radio computer and hands you what looks like an oversized pry bar.
And here's my Qualsund multitool. You might need it to hack loose some ice. It opens everything. If you get me the offsite copy, then you can keep the Qualsund.
It hurts a bit for her to say this. She's not too happy to be parting with the Qualsund.
Man, that Wompty Dumpty Dom Center thought is giving us so much money.
This orange machine is dead still. It has a hand-cranked ice cream churner and an electric freezer. The ice around it slowly melting.
Oh no, this is a physical instrument check. If we don't get it, we're going to have to find a way to raise our physical instrument learning cap or to unlock red checks. And the odds are not in our favor.
This orange machine is dead. Ice groans and howls under the strain of your giant Qualsund multitool until the lid cracks open. Darkness lies inside, but you can faintly make out an object, intricate and foreign, left there for a sub-zero beauty sleep, a filament memory with the words "off-site copy" written on its side. Disappointment washes over you as you stare into the almost empty ice cream maker.
What? No ice cream.
A scoop of ice cream would have been nice, yes.
The lieutenant agrees. Someone's stomach grumbles. The room feels very cold. Take the filament memory.
You gently lift the cube from its frosty bedding, careful not to damage it.
We should take it back to Miss Lucan Kilda as soon as possible. I'm not sure how well unused filaments tolerate room temperatures.
Yes, but aren't you curious to know what's on the precious filament? There's a radio computer upstairs. Tiles on the cube are still
Insert
smoldering.
offsite copy.
Like a smooth draw, the filament slides into
Press
place.
play.
The speaker comes to life.
Good evening. Fortress accident en route. Please repeat. Is this the offsite copy?
I might have a password for the offsite copy.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Afterlife, death.
No, that's not it.
Maybe it's the second part of the leitmotif you saw on the stained glass window.
After death, life again.
Good. I've unlocked the offsite copy. After ending the call, please press print to access the filament.
Ka-ching.
Fortress accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
That's all for now.
Thank you, and goodbye.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering.
Press
It
print.
sounds like something cracks before the piece of paper starts filling up with pure black ink.
Read the printout.
The paper is soaked with ink, its monochrome darkness spanning from margin to margin. It's not possible to make out any information.
What happened? It's just covered in ink.
Odd. Something is obviously broken here.
The lieutenant runs his hand over the ink-soaked paper, staining his fingertips. Perception medium. Examine the printout again.
A single speck of white shines out from the shade. For some reason, the printer decided to spare this one tiny dot of paper. Marked by the devil itself. Looks like gibberish. Better get running again. This must be the information Sorna is looking for. She knows how to make sense of it.
Tear off the printout.
Tiles on the cube are still smoldering, casting the framework in a soft glow.
Remove
Fluorescent
the
flame,
offsite
the
copy.
filament slides out.
Yes, what is it?
About the offsite copy you asked me to bring.
Yes?
I brought you the filament.
Thanks. Looks like it's the one. Now I'm going to print it out to see what's left of it.
She's already inserted the filament into the radio computer's core, ready to close the door. Don't waste your time printing it out. There's nothing but a speck of white in a sea of black ink. It's broken.
A speck of white? That's exactly what I'm hoping to find.
What do you mean?
Lintel was able to divine the location of the anomaly from this broken copy. I want to repeat their calculation, only this time with better equipment. Watch. What an intricate display of failure.
The paper gets soaked in ink again, its evil blackness shining in the light of the mainframe. It looks eerie. It's the abyss staring back at you.
Something's very wrong with that filament memory.
Sorna doesn't reply, her hands running over the printout. She's looking for something, for her morning star, eyes scouring the millimeters.
Here! I found it!
She suddenly says, raising her ink-stained fingertip. It's that white dot, in the same place I saw it when I printed it out before.
Hold on.
She's behind the keyboard now, typing in some numbers that only she understands. The terminal beeps, and the light inside starts pulsing like a glowing heart. Can I do anything?
Shh! Just give me a second, I'm almost...
She clocks up her typing speed.
I've never witnessed a programmer work before.
Done! I've got it! I found the location of the anomaly!
There's joy in her voice as she bumps her fist into the air. You did it, you found the coordinates.
I found the coordinates!
She's beaming. You can feel it in your heart.
Oh my god, congratulations.
Thank you!
Time for a celebratory drink, perhaps. Just a thought.
So, where is it? Where's your 2mm hole in the world?
There. In the swallow.
She points to the other side of the church, where a group of water bowls forms a ritualistic arch.
Think you can help me again?
Sure.
I need you to go move those water bowls for me. I need to double-check my calculations.
What an interesting proposition. Truly a task for the intellectuals, solving the puzzle of water bowls.
Right, I'll go figure it out. I'm good at intellectual puzzles.
Figure it out? No. I don't need you to figure anything out. I've got a computer for that.
She pats the mainframe.
Just walk over to the circle and follow my instructions. Move the third bowl 2 centimeters to the left, and the fourth bowl 5 centimeters to the right. This should do the trick.
What? She only wants you to follow instructions. Nothing intellectually stimulating. In this task, a child could do it.
What, you don't trust my intellectual capabilities to solve the problem on my own?
Come on. It's not about your brain. Even I couldn't figure it out on my own. Can you please just go and move the water bowls for me? Thanks.
It's awfully silent again, as if someone turned off the entire world outside those walls. Water inside the bowls stands still. Measurements have been marked down around the bowls, each chalk-drawn line representing a centimeter on the floor.
Move the third ball from the left 2 centimeters away.
It moves like a ghost without creating a single trace of sound. This task is an insult to your mental skills.
Move the fourth bowl from the left 5 centimeters to the right.
Some water spills out of the bowl, wetting the floor. The lead programmer sends you an encouraging thumbs up from across the hall. Time to run back, or maybe walk. This is a sacred place after all.
Yes, what is it?
I've moved the bowls. It was mind-numbingly easy. What's next?
Great. Everything should be aligned now.
She stops, biting into her chapped lip.
Miss Know-It-All is hesitating.
What's wrong?
Yeah. Nothing. Now the only thing left to do is to unmute the headphones. If we got the location right, we should then be able to hear whatever sound this anomaly makes.
Wait, why do you have your headphones on mute in the first place?
Honestly, I'm a little scared.
It's just going to be silence and nothing else?
I don't know. That's what I'm scared of. I don't know. It could be anything. I mean, what sound does the nothing make? How can you even listen to something that doesn't exist?
She turns to face you, the mainframe throwing shadows on her chin.
What if silence is only what surrounds it, but the swallow itself is...
She grows silent, her face very pale in the cold light of electricity. What?
I don't know. I'm just scared. Maybe it's going to be something terrifying. Maybe it's going to tear the world apart.
Like that evil ink that filled the printout, erasing coherence and meaning.
You're overthinking this.
Maybe. Maybe I'm just tired.
Let's think about this logically. Why would nothing be terrifying if it's, well, nothing?
Why assume that something that has no presence, existence, or qualities has to be terrifying?
Because it reminds us of death. And we humans tend to think that death is pretty scary.
It's scary, but we just have to face it.
Yeah. You're right. Let's do it.
She puts on her oversized headphones, ready to press unmute on the keyboard. The lieutenant takes a step back. And then, nothing. Nothing happens. As Sona Lokanen-Kilda presses unmute on her keyboard. Nothing but silence. You can hear some small animal cross the floor in the chancel. It's that quiet in the sanctuary.
Can you hear anything?
She doesn't answer. Her eyes closed and brows knitted together in a state of deep focus, one hand cupping the headphone.
Well?
Damn it!
She lets out a loud sigh before tearing off her headphones. She's still avoiding your gaze. Come on, did you hear anything?
No, of course not. Nothing happened. Let's move on.
Despite her fear, she was hoping for something extraordinary to take place.
What do you mean nothing happened? Did you find the swallow?
No.
She rests her face on her hands, massaging the forehead.
No. My hypothesis was wrong. According to this, I should have heard something, if I got the coordinates right. Like I said, silence is only what surrounds it. But this is just another failure. Silence sounds like silence. That's all it is. You can try on the headphones. See if you can hear anything. But don't get your hopes up.
Silence is silence? You're sure there's more to it? This can't be it. You should have a listen.
Yes, what is it?
Perception heroic. Put on the headphones.
All you hear is your own breathing, heavy and hoarse from all the nights spent drinking. It's the breath of an old man. But there's something else. There has to be. Something big. Something unexpected. Something new. Yet to be discovered. Ghosts. Speak to me.
Well, did you hear anything?
I'm not sure. There seems to be something there, but I couldn't really make it out.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's anything there.
Her voice is bitter with disappointment.
The lieutenant looks down at the floor, as if to say, you're wasting time here. Maybe the speed freaks can help you with this. Go talk with Andre.
Alright, I think that's where we're going to leave off for now. We will resolve the church puzzle with the speed freaks next time.